Hi there. Today I want to show you a project that I'm trying to initiate and set up here on our property, and this is the pond that we put in as a swimming pond and a food pond. I want this to be a low maintenance area, and so I'm slowly establishing it. It's 2 years old and we've still got a long way to go, but I just want to show you the process that I'm going through to get it to where I envisage it to become in several years' time. What we have growing here is pigeon pea, and I'm using this to start in stabilising this edge here, and to manage and stabilise the edge so that it doesn't erode. And we're starting to build a forest floor. The reason why we want a forest floor is because I want to put fruit trees down the bottom edge there. Not very big ones, dwarf fruit trees of some kind, so that comes to a line about this height here. We're at 26 degrees latitude here, 26 degrees latitude south, and so the winter sun, that's north in this direction, the winter sun needs to come in. These pigeon peas are actually too high. In several months' time the sun will be getting lower, and I want the full sun onto the pond, and then that will reflect over into the house area over there. Also, what's happening here on the ground is I'm establishing the pinto peanut. I'm promoting it as much as I can, so that as you can see further around, it's getting quite stabilised and established over there. The intention is I do not need to come in here and mow. I've been removing all the clumping grasses and the running grasses. I have a nut grass in here and a few other small grasses which are fine. They won't need to be managed and maintained. And the pinto peanut won't need to be managed and maintained. It might get up about this high of occasion, and I might come in and use that as a mulch to put somewhere, a nice nitrogen fixing mulch that I can use elsewhere. But the main thing is I want a nice carpet of a ground cover which is nice and soft, so you can come in and lay your towel down and feel comfortable, and very low maintenance area from into the water edge and down and through the mini food forest that will be down the side there. I like how it behaves. I like how the pinto peanut behaves as it goes into the water, which is going to stabilise the edge. At the moment I'm getting erosion on the edge, and so it's going to help to stabilise that edge, and any interaction with the frogs and the toads and any other action here is going to be stabilised by that edge. So here I've been starting to chop and drop. So I've done a severe chop and drop. We're in rainfall higher than evaporation. We've just had quite a rainfall event actually, 300 mil in 2 days, which is what we've been waiting for. And I was aware that I was feeling that it was coming, so I've recently, last week, I started to do a chop and drop here, and quite radical. It looks a bit crazy for a little bit, but in time this will bloom back. I should get one more year out of these. You can see a little bit of rot coming, but I should get one more regrowth year, and these will come up again. If not a big concern, because I've got these self-sown ones here. What I'm going to do, once I know what I've established here and done the chop and drop, I'm going to come and transplant these where I want them. Not up on the flat here, I want them down on the edge, because this is a flat area for people space, but this is a steep slope, not necessarily a very good people space, so we're going to grow food on there. So we're going to have you've got a citrus further down there. He's not a very happy citrus because he's been transplanted, but I'll get a few more years out of him, and in the process I'll put another citrus in between, and that can come up, and one will go to the other. What's happening here also with these here, stabilising, establishing a forest floor with all the chop and drop. That's the carbon and nitrogen, because these are nitrogen fixers, that is energy is going to come back into my fruit tree. So I'm going to get probably another mandarin and put it in this space here and let it come up, and this energy will go into there. What I've been doing here is I come along, this is a cobbler's peg weed. I just come along regularly. Once a month I come along and remove these just to give the energy into the pinto peanut. I know it's weeding, but it's we are promoting the pinto peanut. So we'll take this away, the sunlight will get to the pinto peanut, and then that will cover and get what I want on here. So just a regular little weed comes along and does that. I can put that on top of there, that won't come back. And now I'm ready to chop and drop and get these ones in. So I'm just going to spend a little process on here. I'm just going to remove this bit of dead. This energy will also be going down towards the citrus down the bottom there, the mandarin tree at the bottom. So just tidying this up a little bit. And then to the height that I want it is about there. And I'm just doing a chop and drop, creating a ground floor of carbon, but it's also got a high nitrogen because it's a nitrogen fixing plant. Now with a nice thin layer, I call like a scatter mulch on here, the pinto peanut, which is already here like this, it's got a reasonable amount of energy and it'll come up and grow through that. I'm not putting a heavy layer down, it's just a nice light layer. And the plant I want to promote will come through nicely. It's taking a little while to establish. As I said, 2 years that the pond's been here, so it's about 18 months I've been trying to promote the pinto peanut. I'm very happy with how the pigeon pea has performed, and I'm getting quite impressed of how we're getting a nice cover of the pinto peanut. And every time it flowers, it puts another seed in the soil, and so this is just going to thicken up and thicken up. So here now, what we're doing is we're accelerating the process, pushing the energy faster forward, getting a higher carbon layer on the ground, a higher carbon layer in the soil, because there will be a root drop after this chop and drop of the top layer. There will be a root drop that will be putting more carbon and of course a whole lot more nitrogen into the soil, ready going down into our citrus. And very soon I'm going to plant more citrus, more citrus through here, another one there, and so that's going to have this energy. So we're building nitrogen and we're building carbon, ready for a forest, a mini forest, a little food forest of different plants. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to plant yet. I know I'm going to have a row of citrus, but between the citrus, maybe there's another row of pigeon pea to continue. They'll be replaced regularly, continue this nitrogen and carbon cycle, but along the edge here will be a more of a herbaceous layer, maybe midgeon berry, which is an Australian native that we can grow in along here, a nice little berry layer, something like that. That'll give a tapered growth, letting the full sun in so we can get the light into the pond and also have this nice beautiful edge. This what's happened with the edge that I've had here is many mornings I come out and the pond is misting. There's a nice humidity off the pond. Certain places around the pond I've had clover grow for 24 months. It's been continuous growth, where normally we only have it seasonal. So I've created a microclimate, and having this hedge layer of vegetation here is going to keep a microclimate happening in here. It's going to minimize the wind on the pond, reduce the evaporation, so it's all creating a microclimate, it's all creating a food space, it's also creating a habitat. Quite often you'll come and you'll see frogs up in these plants up in here, definitely frogs in the edge of the pond, and frogs come out into the carpet of pinto peanut around the edge as well. So just a small example of my management process here. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. I still don't know the full picture of what I'm going to end up here. I'm allowing myself and it to evolve over a bit of time just to see what I can put into here. I've only just recently decided that it's going to be citrus through here. Before I was having all different ideas. I've got to be careful that I don't put plants on here that are going to compromise the dam wall by roots running across into the water, and then I could have a leak. So they've got to be shallow rooted and not long running roots. So I think the citrus, the dwarf citrus running through along the dam wall, I think they'll be ideal. And they should get up nice amount that I can keep maintain without too much work. I don't want to be coming and have to mow the tops off of all the trees every year. I want a low maintenance system, but a food productive system. So hopefully you can see the picture that I'm trying to achieve. Hopefully you can see the process that I've gone through here of stabilising this here. The more cover I have on here, the less I'm going to have of weeds coming in. I know weeds are doing their thing, but I've allowed them to express themselves. They've had 18 months to express themselves, and now I'm removing that because I have this to replace it. What I would put down here is the replacement for the weed, building the carbon, building the minerals, and getting some nitrogen in the system at the same time as a green mulch ready for the fruit trees. And the pinto peanut will come through and hold it and stabilise it. It makes a nice network. My continually concern is this is eroding away, and I'll have to come and stabilise this edge, but this pinto peanut should do that. And we'll let these ones go. Maybe there's going to be a row of these about there, so I don't have too much height. But hopefully you can see the picture of what I'm expecting to see here in several years' time.